19,000 hopefuls, 12 seats. For every person who ever dreamed of becoming an astronaut, there's a secret most should visit here. NASA's selection process is so ruthless that almost 99.9% of candidates are discarded, sometimes for reasons they'll never fully understand. This isn't just about failing a test. Behind the legend of the Mercury 7 and today's headline-grabbing launches lies one of the most exclusive and emotionally devastating gauntlets in human history, crushing lifelong ambition in minutes. Why does space demand such impossible odds? And what happens to those who don't make it? The answers reveal stakes far greater than a career and open questions few dare to ask. The email arrives without warning. No subject line, just the NASA logo and a line of text. We regret to inform you. For one finalist, this is the moment everything stops. The world narrows to a single screen, a single sentence. Years of training, sacrifice and hope gone in the time it takes to blink. He spent months on edge, waiting for this decision, replaying every interview, every psych test, every physical exam. Now, the silence in the room is louder than a rocket launch. There's no explanation, no phone call, no feedback, just a polite form letter and the echo of a dream that's been building since childhood. He tries to breathe, but his body feels hollow. The walls blur. Family and friends had already begun to talk about him as the next astronaut. Now, he has to tell them it's over. He scrolls back through the email, searching for a reason, a loophole, anything. There isn't one. Outside, life goes on. Cars pass, the sun climbs higher, but inside, everything is different. The rejection isn't just a career setback, it's an identity erased in an instant. For the 19,000 who don't get a seat, there's no ceremony, no public recognition, just an empty inbox, a closed door, and the question that lingers: what do you do when the thing you've built your life around disappears? In 1959, NASA gathered 7 men in secret and called them the Mercury astronauts. The original criteria were simple on paper: military test pilot, perfect health, nerves of steel. But even then, the odds were almost impossible. Out of more than 500 candidates, only 7 made it past the first cut. Over the decades, the numbers exploded. By 2017, more than 18,000 people sent in applications, each hoping to join a class of just 12. That's a selection rate of less than 1 in 1,000, a lower chance than getting into Harvard or winning a major lottery. The process is relentless. Every cycle, NASA updates its requirements, but the core remains the same: resilience, adaptability, and the ability to function under pressure that would break most people. Degrees from top universities, years of military or scientific experience, flawless medical records, but none of it guarantees a spot. The agency's standards have only grown more exacting. Today, the Johnson Space Center oversees a process that can last up to 2 years, with each stage designed to eliminate anyone who might falter under stress. This isn't just a job interview. It's a system built to filter out even the smallest sign of weakness. Most applicants never make it past the first round. For those who do, every detail, medical history, psychological profile, even family background, becomes fair game. Out of more than 70,000 applicants since the program began, only about 360 have ever worn the NASA patch. For everyone else, rejection is almost guaranteed. The system is designed that way. In 2013, a decorated Air Force test pilot sits in a windowless room at Johnson Space Center, staring at a stack of forms. He's already survived combat missions, flown experimental jets, and aced every technical exam NASA could throw at him. On paper, he's the definition of qualified. Years of elite training, flawless service records, recommendations from generals. But there's one final hurdle: the psychological evaluation. The questions come rapid fire, some obvious, some designed to trip you up. How do you handle isolation? Describe a time you lost control. He answers honestly, maybe too honestly. One response, an offhand comment about feeling tense during a long deployment, gets circled in red ink. Days later, a panel of psychologists reviews his file. The notes read, "Possible risk if exposed to extreme isolation." That's it. No further explanation, no appeal. His 20-year career erased by a single ambiguous answer. The rubric is secret, the criteria shifting. Even among the best, one misstep means the end. He's left to wonder if anyone could ever pass a test with rules that change behind closed doors. For candidates like him, perfection is not enough. The system is built to find the smallest crack, and if it can't, it invents one. Dinner used to be the one time the whole family gathered. Now it's just silence and empty chairs. Bills pile up on the kitchen counter unopened. The candidate's spouse, once proud of the dream, now dreads the next envelope. 2 years of unpaid leave have drained their savings. The mortgage is months behind, and the credit cards are maxed out. Friends stop calling. The kids ask why dad never laughs anymore, why mum spends so many nights alone at the table. Every conversation circles back to the same sore spot. The job that never came, the future that slipped away. NASA's background checks have already pulled their counselling records, combed through family finances, even asked neighbours about their marriage. There's no privacy left, just the constant sense of being observed, measured and found wanting. The pressure builds until something gives. Divorce papers arrive before the final rejection letter. The candidate moves out, packing up boxes of flight suits, textbooks and old family photos. The dream of spaceflight hasn't just vanished for one person, it's left a crater in the lives of everyone who once believed in it. She holds a doctorate in planetary science and a patent for a new type of radiation shielding. Her references include Nobel laureates, but after months of interviews and tests, her application lands in the same digital graveyard as thousands of others. The notes, never meant for her eyes, mention introverted communication style and potential challenges with team cohesion. For all her technical brilliance, the panel decides she might not fit the preferred group dynamic. The phrase cultural fit floats between the lines, never stated outright, but impossible to ignore. She scored at the top in every academic and physical category. Still, the feedback focuses on how she might interact during a 6-month mission in a metal canister orbiting hundreds of miles above Earth. The unwritten rule: those who stand out too much or stand apart rarely make it through. Behind closed doors, conformity is prized as much as competence. For candidates from backgrounds not already overrepresented in the astronaut corps, the bar is always just a little higher. The system claims to search for the best, but sometimes it just selects for the most familiar. In a process obsessed with eliminating risk, difference itself becomes the biggest risk of all. Inside a cramped exam chamber, the lights never dim. There's no clock, no window, just the steady hum of air vents and the scratch of a pen on a clipboard. Candidates are told to sit alone, sometimes for hours with nothing but their thoughts. The goal isn't comfort, it's to simulate the isolation of a months-long mission to see who cracks and who endures. One session lasts so long that a candidate loses track of day and night, reporting phantom sounds and flashes of colour that aren't there. NASA's medical officers call it a necessary stress test. Off the record, some describe it as a controlled breakdown. The scrutiny doesn't stop at the mind. Background checks reach into years of financial records, old friendships, even distant relatives. The SF-86 form, mandatory for anyone seeking a security clearance, asks about debts, foreign contacts, and family medical history. One candidate learns that a cousin's misdemeanor from a decade ago is now a discussion point in a selection meeting. Dr. Patricia Santi, a former NASA psychiatrist, once wrote, "We were trained to root out anything that could go wrong in isolation, but we may have missed how group resilience, more than perfection, is what prevents breakdown." After the Challenger disaster, NASA quietly tightened its psychological screening. Some insiders now question whether these tests reveal true risk or just punish ordinary human flaws. For every astronaut who passes, dozens leave feeling like they've survived an experiment instead of an interview. The debate isn't just about who gets to fly, It's about whether the system is choosing survivors or simply the best at hiding their scars. In 2017, over 18,000 people applied to become NASA astronauts. Only 12 were chosen. As documents reveal, this extreme selection process has crushed the hopes of countless highly qualified candidates through psychological tests, invasive background checks, and standards that remain partly classified. Families have been torn apart and careers ended, sometimes on the basis of a single ambiguous answer or an undefined sense of fit. Even today, many details about why certain applicants are rejected are hidden from public view, protected by security regulations and internal policy. While the process is designed to minimize risk and select those deemed most resilient, ethical concerns persist. As of 2024, the odds of selection remain below 1%. The human cost is undeniable, and the question of what truly makes the best astronaut, beyond secrecy and perfection, remains unresolved.